So good evening, and thank you for coming out on a stupidly cold night. I've made arrangements for the weather to warm up over the next couple of days, so you're welcome. No need to thank me. My name is Jeff. We're going to have a little bit of fun tonight, and I'm hoping you're all willing to participate because this is a bit of an interactive activity. If you desperately want to observe and not participate, you are welcome to do so, but it's way more fun if you participate. So I'm really hoping that you came here to have a little bit of fun. Tonight, we're going to work on something called XFlow. XFlow is a activity, it's a game. It's going to simulate a whole pile of things that we will encounter typically in our workplaces, and we'll talk about some of the ways that we address them and some of the impacts that they have on our work, and we'll see if some of these things that we've heard about working in an agile way actually make some sort of difference. XFlow was a company founded by a guy named Michael Kramer. He's a German guy. Let me tell you about his sense of humor. He is hilarious. You know, Germans are known for their sense of humor, and Michael is right at the top of that list. XFlow was a company that developed a reputation across the globe as a premier, an elite solver of Sudoku puzzles. And as luck would have it, our sales and product management team has been hard at work securing some new business for us to solve some new Sudokus. So I'm hoping tonight you'll participate in being a part of the XFlow team here as we generate some revenue for our business that Michael founded and we brought to Canada. Our company, as with most companies, probably the companies that you work for, is comprised of many departments. For example, you probably have a sales or a product management department. As luck would have it, we are going to have a sales and product management team tonight. You probably have a development team. We're going to have multiple development teams of really, really deep specialists who are experts at producing great quality Sudokus. Of course, quality is of utmost importance. So we are going to have a QA department that is going to make sure that we are adhering to the quality standards that have been set and established, and we're going to continue that going forward. And of course, we need an accounting department. The accounting department will actually fill a couple of roles here. They're going to take care of some logistics of the game mechanics itself, but hopefully, if you are in the accounting team, you are able to do some pretty simple math. Let me tell you a little bit about the roles, and then we'll get into these teams, and we'll actually go through a few simulations. So we have a new project that has just been authorized. The highest levels of our executive team, that would be me, have agreed to this, and we've fully funded it. We've identified a few product lines. All of these product lines are fully funded, and we are going to be delivering them. They are critical to our success this fiscal year. And so we've also authorized an entire project team to stand up with all of the development teams needed to support those. Some of you will be in your product management team or your sales team. Your job here will be to figure out and deliver the highest value item to your customers, to your users, as quickly as you can. There are a couple of different product lines, but that's okay. We'll more on that to come. The development teams. We've got a few different development teams. They're represented by the 4 color of Lego bricks that are at the desk. So we've got the blue, the red, the yellow, and the green development teams. So we'll ask a few of you to go to those tables in a minute. And there are numbers. I'll get to that in a moment. Your work needs to be done correctly. Of course, if your work is done correctly, it will generate revenue for our organization, and that is important for us. And it will allow the other teams to also complete their work. Our QA team, as I mentioned, is a key part of working here at Jeff's XFlow organization. We are going to make sure and validate that all work is done to the appropriate standard and report on that so that our accounting team can record the results appropriately. Very simple, don't worry. Training is provided. You will understand this without any issues. It's really not that hard. And our accounting team is going to be reporting on the revenue that is generated. They'll also be recording any issues with work that perhaps doesn't pass the QA team. So if anything doesn't come through, they'll be tracking this as well. Project logistics is going to be tied into accounting. We're not going to create a separate project logistics group. This is going to make sure, because Lego bricks are limited in number, that the Lego bricks get back to the appropriate teams so that work can continue with it. And as I said, roles and training will be done as we go through. So we need to build our teams. How many of us are there now that we're here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Who's not participating? Who just wants to observe and not participate? Okay, so everyone else is participating? This is good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. All right. Here's what I need. Now that we've done that, I need 3 people to be my product managers. Can I get 3 volunteers to be product managers? Excellent. Stacy's volunteer number 1. I need 2 more. 1, 2. Sorry, Nico. Tom beat you to that one. Okay. All right. I'm going to get the 3 of you just to come and stand up here for me, if you'd be so kind. Excellent. I also need a total of 12 developers. These are the people who are actually going to solve the Sudoku puzzles and do the work. So do I have 12 of you? Okay. Do me a favor. If you just put your hand up, stand up, and make your way to each of these 4 tables that have the Lego bricks on them. There should be 3 of you at each table. 3 developers at each table. Okay. Sorry?
You have to know Sudoku?
No, you don't have to know Sudoku. Training will be provided. Okay, so I've got 3 there. I need 1 of you to come over here, please. All right, I need 2 more people here. 1, can I get you to join this group as well? Excellent. And the 3 of you who are left, you are going to become my QA and accounting folks. So come on over here, and you'll be at the QA and accounting area. Whose black bag is this? Do you mind if I just move it? Okay, thank you. We're going to need this for the QA team. Fantastic, QA team. All right, I'm going to walk through all of the different roles and get an opportunity for everybody to know it. Please have a seat. We've got 3, we've got 3, we've got 3, we've got 3. Oh, lovely. We've got 3 of you there. That's fantastic. We've got 3 product managers. That's excellent. And we've got our 2 observers. This is fantastic. You guys are an incredibly agreeable group tonight. Thank you so much. Let me go through the roles and we'll describe exactly what's going to happen. I'm going to start with our product managers. Product managers, these are the Sudoku puzzles right here. They are on plates that look like this. You'll notice that each plate has some already completed on here. What you will do when I say go, not now, is you will take a Post-it note. You will stamp it with the official stamp. The stamp will indicate which business line you are from, the value of it, and there is a section QA, this is important for you, where you will check whether or not it has passed. We'll get to QA in a moment. You don't fill out the whether or not it's passed section, okay? What you will do is you will put your business line on here. Your business lines will be assigned in a moment. You need to figure out the value of each plate. In this case, we have to do a little bit of math for this. The plate is we count the number of empty places on here. In this case, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them. And then we roll the random die, and we got a 3 in this case. So we add these together. 5 plus 3 gives us a value of 8. So that plate will be worth 8. We will take our Post-it note, having written 8 in our value. We will attach it to the plate, and we will hand it to a development team. Now, we can hand it to any development team you want. Keep them busy. It's important for your bonuses that you keep them busy, because the more they get through, the more money we're going to make. Not them. They don't get bonuses, right? They're on salary. So you can give it to any team that you want. Any questions on that? Watch this. I built an animation just in case there were questions. Watch this animation. On this plate, there are 6 empty places, and if you rolled an 8, the plate would be worth 14, but that's not what happened on this one, so this one's only worth 8, okay? Development teams. These will get passed to you if you are a development team. They can come to any of you at any point. The sales team is not restricted in how fast they can get them to you. You need to keep up. Do not let me down. We're counting on you. You can only touch, of course, your yellow bricks, your blue bricks, your red bricks, and your green bricks. After all, you are specialists in these areas. This is your area of expertise, and you have deep technical knowledge. This is a very technical activity, and you need to complete a Sudoku. Now, if you don't know what a Sudoku is, Glenn, a Sudoku is simply a grid of, in this case, it's 4 by 4, where there is one value of each in each row and each column. So in this case, if I handed this to the yellow team, if you can see this one here, I'll do it for the camera as well, you would notice that there's a yellow one here, a yellow one here, a yellow one here, and a yellow one here. They don't have to do any work. This plate is complete. There's one in each column, and 1 in each row, so they can simply pass this to another team. Now, the blue team gets it in this case, and the blue team would look at this and they would say, well, there's 1 in this row or column, there's 1 in this column, and there's 1 in this column, but we need to put 1 in this column. Well, where should we put it? Should we put it up here, or should we put it down here? The blue team, being experts of blue, recognize that there is already a blue one in this row. So they pick up their blue block, they place it on the plate like this, and they look at, yes, we are good, and hand it off to another team. This will repeat until all of them are done. The team that completes the last block on here will then get it over to our QA team. Questions from the development team? All right. I built an animation for you too. Look at that. There it is. See? There. And whoa! Holy geez. By the way, one of the things, I didn't really do an introduction to me. I teach at college, and one of the things I teach is PowerPoint. Oh yeah. This is the advanced stuff.
You're missing the yellow there.
What?
You're missing the yellow. Yellow's
No,
done.
yellow's not done. This was an example. This is an example. Okay. Obviously, it needs to go to them. Now, when it goes to the QA team, that's going to be you. And we have 2 additional folks that have come in. Would you like to participate? Awesome. That's great. Okay, I've got jobs for you. So just pay attention. I'll get you in here in a second. You're going to check the finished base plate. Obviously, the first thing you want to check is make sure that there are no empty spaces. Yes, it happens. When you check the base that there are no empty spaces, you're going to make sure that there is 1 of each color in each column and 1 in each row, and no more than 1 of each in each column in each row, so that it is a completed Sudoku. You'll see there's a picture here. Oh, if it passes, you have markers you can indicate by putting a check mark that yes, it passed. If it failed, put an X, and then I'll talk about what we do with them in a second. Okay? Provide it to the accounting folks. So this one in the top here, it passes. There's 1 blue, 1 green, 1 yellow, and 1 red in each row, and 1 each column in each column. Now we're going to test our QA folks. What about this one? Does this one pass, or does this one fail? Don't help them. It passes. Let's check. Yes, it does. Okay. How about this one? Why are you helping them? It does indeed fail because we have a yellow brick in the same row as this yellow and a blue in the same one here. He got it, right? So obviously this one fails, so we put an X beside that and it doesn't go through. What we're going to do then is we're going to get our accounting folks. They didn't know they were going to be accounting folks. We're going to get our accounting folks. You're going to pass it to them, and they will take this and they will record it. Now, you can take the Post-it note right off of the plate. The plate, these can just go up on the wall here. Don't worry about making a mess of these. But what we're going to do is we're going to put each product line in here, and I need to know which product line delivered it. Don't worry, I'll talk. I got to get the product lines out there as well. But we'll give the product lines out here and just record the value that was delivered for each product line. Okay? All right, we got 2 new people who are going to come. You are going to be observers, because otherwise I have to restructure teams. There is a reason for this. Unless, hold on, can we do something else? You can become accountants as well. Actually, you'll help with the accounting. That'll be good. We'll get more accountants. I don't want to mess up the development teams. You guys have been trained and are experts now in your domain, so I don't want to train them. One other thing that you can do, accounting folks and QA, if you have time, is when you get the bricks or when you get the plates, they will have bricks on them like this. Okay, so you remove the Post-it note and keep it. But the other thing that you can do is you can help out the resource, the reuse of these logistics. Now, what you do is you take these bricks off. You don't take these flat ones off. Don't do it. I know you guys. And if you're having trouble, there are special tools provided. Can you pass me one of those special tools? These are special Lego brick removing tools. You simply place it on the block and it lifts off like that. That way you can be sure that you're removing the correct block. Don't move the flat ones, only remove these. These go back to the development teams. These go back to our sales team. Sales team, if you run out, grab them as they're coming back and you can keep using them, okay? I'll leave you with that fancy tool. I'll leave you with the block. I don't want to deprive you of the resources that you need, and I don't want to leave that. Now, we do need product lines. I said we should have some product lines here. So we are going to have product lines. We're going to have 3 product lines. We're going to have square, circle, and triangle. Here we go. I am determined to make some good money this. Stacy, which one do you want to be? You get a choice. You can be the circle then. Tom, you get to be the square, and you don't have a name tag.
Kathy.
Hi, Kathy.
Hi.
I'm Jeff. You get to be the triangle. Put those on. Wear them proud. Wear them proud. Yeah, you. This is good. All right. I think that covers off everything we need to know about the activity. Any questions from anyone? Where are my accounting people who got here a little bit late? All right, if you'd like to come and join over here behind QA, hopefully you got the instructions. You can. You're probably going to find you don't have a ton to do, especially early on, but don't worry. Work will be coming fast and furious to you. So we're going to try a few rounds of this. We're going to try a few rounds. The first round, we're just going to play and see what happens. We're going to see which product development team gets a bonus after this one. Important for them and for the profitability of the company. And after we've done that, we will see if we can make some changes, trying some of these things that we've heard, some of this nonsense we've heard about agile-y things, and see if any of it actually makes a difference to the outcomes that we achieve. Sound good? All right, everyone ready? On your marks, get set, go. All right, stop. We are done. Development teams, at this point, if you have any bricks, you can take your plates apart. No, Alexi, that goes back. QA, if you've already passed it, it can go to accounting. If you haven't passed it, you can't take anything new. Accounting, finish off the math, and let's get the plates back and get the bricks back to where they want. If development teams, you want to give our accounting folks a hand, you can go and get the bricks back from them that are yours. Remember, you can't touch other people's. You're not trained. You're not nearly qualified enough. Yeah. All right. Did we get all of the plates back? It looks like it. Did we get all of the bricks? Developers, do you have all of your bricks back? You do. Very good. And QA, you don't have anything? That's excellent. And accounting, can you do me a favor? Accounting, and add up the total value delivered by product line? And while they're doing that, so I'll help you out. The squares have 16. All right. While accounting tries to do their math, the rest of us can talk. Accounting, can you keep it down a little bit? Oh, dear. Let me just check in with a couple of groups here. And yeah, that's a square apparently as well. And it didn't pass QA, then you can't count it. Can't count it. Nope. Don't count it as a defect. Just don't count it. All right. So do we have totals for the 3? We'll get to them. All right. Well, while they're doing the totals for the 3, let me ask developers, how did that feel? How did we do? Are we happy? Yeah. Were you working hard? Excellent. Were you productive? You were busy? Absolutely busy. Hugely busy. Oh, excellent. That's good. That's what we're paying you for, is to be busy and to write as much code as you possibly can. Because we know more lines of code, more blocks on there delivers more value, so well done.
Even if they're at the wrong place.
Even if they're the wrong place. Funny enough, we had one, the first the first plate that was delivered, QA, what happened with that first defect there for the square? What was wrong with it? It wasn't all filled in. How many colors were represented on the plate? 3. One team of developers didn't bother to do it. Disappointing developers. You said you were all busy paying attention to quality. QA caught it. Thank goodness for our QA department. Whew. They were there to save us from delivering something that shouldn't have been delivered, and that would have wrecked our reputation for sure. Didn't even know where it was coming from. Our sales team, our product team over here has not come through. You know what? We'll speak to them about that. Product team, Tom.
I think we need to hire a few different developers.
Huh? Does that ever happen? Does that ever happen where we're blaming the product team for something and they turn around and say it's the developer's fault? No, that would never happen in your organization. Wait till he gives you the next tile. I like that. All the square ones? Yeah, we're not doing the square ones. Do you know, let me ask a question though. When you were developing developers, the product, did you feel connected to the product lines in any way, shape, or form? No. Okay, there was no connection to it at all, right? Okay, that's interesting. Sales and product management, from your perspective, any thoughts, any observations as to how that felt the first round?
Next time, bribery.
Next time, bribery. It seems reasonable.
For me, it was like chaos that I felt like I had no control, and I would like to shepherd my square around the 4 product teams.
Okay, we can talk about doing that. So what would that look like? Tell me what you would do exactly.
So I would work with them
Okay.
to help them move things along more quickly.
I'm curious if you'll have time to do that. Part of your job is to be out talking to customers, getting plates ready and getting value going. Do you think you would have time to engage with the development teams? Okay, perfect. You know what? Do that. Let's see what happens. And accounting, from your perspective, any observations as you were catching up and getting things going?
Yeah, things were getting a little backlogged. Like we were getting, at the beginning it was slow, but then it's ramped up really quickly and we had to keep up.
Very cool. Yeah, and that's very typical in accounting that they're a little bit behind just because they're the last in the value stream of work coming to you. From an end result perspective, what do we have here? We've clearly got the triangles. Who's my triangle, Kathy? Is that you? Congratulations, Kathy. I wish Tom could be more like you. You are a fantastic product manager, and it shows. It shows in here too. And you know, Stacy, you're not far behind. In fact, that's a pretty good result, especially for your first round, especially because you weren't even talking to the development teams. You should be really proud of those results. Tom, unfortunately, hold on. Where's my accounting, folks? 17 plus 13 minus 14 does not equal 30.
You have one job.
We were told this.
All right.
By you.
So we could either subtract them. You know what? Let's give him the benefit. Even with 30, it's a pretty pitiful job, and he's already feeling bad enough. At least he should be for this performance. So sure, we'll give him the 30. We'll give him the 30. But also the square had 2 defects, as it turned out. We found a second one after the fact that wasn't indicated what product line it is. So thank you for being so quick at keeping up and getting that accounting work done. Now, Stacy's already suggested, our Circle product manager here, one improvement that can be made, and she's going to try and work a little bit closer with the development teams here. What?
I have one more actually.
Yeah.
We could have 3 stampers.
You can't actually.
Well, I actually stamped a lot of mine first, and then.
Okay. You know what? However you want to work with the others, you can do that. There's one stamper, and from a game let me step out of playing the role of idiot and idiot manager for a second. From a game logistics perspective, we actually overwhelm them if we have multiple stampers, which is why there's one. It slows you down, which makes their jobs at least hard, but it would be worse if you were stamping even more.
Yeah, we would just employ more.
Do you know, I've heard, you remind me of something that I've heard that people in Agile things talk about all the time, and they talk about limiting, what is it? Limiting value delivered. No, that's not it. It's document all the things. No. It's right. Limiting work in progress. That's what it is. Now, some people say process, but it could be progress. Doesn't really matter to me. And so I think that's a good idea. We should limit the work in progress. So sales teams, this is your input. You can only give one thing to a development team at a time. Development team, you can only take one thing off of here and be working on it. And when you take this thing off, the sales team can replenish it by putting a new item on there for you. Now, here's the trick. You're going to be getting plates from other development teams too. That doesn't count against your WIP limit. Your WIP limit is only the WIP limit coming from sales teams. You may end up with multiple plates. You may end up with a plate multiple times. Red, if you, for example, miss something, blue catches it, they may give it back to you. Those don't count against your WIP limits. They only count for you. You guys can give them to anybody you want. There's no WIP limits for you. But we're going to have a WIP limit in this case of one coming in from the sales team at a time, and that should address the whole stamping issue as well. Okay, I think that's a good way to solve this. Let's see if limiting the work in progress changes our results at all. Let's see if it makes any difference whatsoever. Yes.
When you say one,
Yes.
is it one for all three of us product owners?
Yes, each team can take one thing from you.
One from each of us.
No, there's one spot here. So here, watch this. Imagine, Stacy, you take this and you put it here.
It's now full.
Where's Tom going to put his?
Somewhere else that has a space.
Perfect, but not here.
No, because
I'm just-
Kathy will have filled them all up by the time we get
I'm just clarifying.
Yes.
Thank you.
So developers, this is important, developers, you control this rate at which they'll give you work. If you leave this here, they're not going to give you more work. If you take this off, they're going to give you more work. So you control the rate at which work comes to you. Any questions? Let's leave everything else the same. I'm pretty sure everything else is good. Oh, except if you want to engage with the teams and offer them some support, maybe tell them to work faster or hurry it up. You know, you've got your bonuses are riding on these, so try and work with them, okay? Everyone ready? All right, your time starts now. Go. Do me a favor, try and stamp them on the paper. Maureen's going to get mad at me. No, he won't. All right. Oh, you guys beat me to it. I was just going to ask you to do that. Can you do me a favor and just put it on this wall here so that we can see it? Whatever, put the Post-it somewhere else. I care about the results, not about the individual Post-it notes. Perfect.
We're just leaving a code line.
Apparently that's a real problem.
Code on the floor. Like this represents a security breach. We're losing IP.
Stop! Time's up. All right. Anything that has passed QA counts. If it hasn't passed QA at this point, it doesn't count. So that one won't count, and that won't count either because it hasn't passed QA. All right. But if you'd like, we can return these to their places that they need to go to, if you wouldn't mind.
destroy everything?
Yep, you
Yeah,
take
okay.
you can take off your bricks. Again, don't touch other people's bricks. You don't know how to do yellow bricks.
Not even then.
No,
Building
no,
code is easy.
no. All right, you can take your bricks off. Don't touch other people's bricks because you don't know how to do those properly. You might break the code. Okay. Whew. Yeah. All right. QA, from your perspective, just while accounting's finishing doing their thing, QA, any defects this round? Found 2 defects. Oh my goodness. From?
Towards the end, so we have an idea of what the cause of it was.
Okay, probably incompetent developers. It's probably the people.
Well, legacy code issue. You could say incompetent developers, but they were limited by.
They were limited by something. Okay, I'm curious. I want to know what your thoughts are on that. Hold on, and let me wait for accounting to finish their thing because this is an opportunity. This is an opportunity, developers, for improvement because QA has identified 2 defects and they have a belief as to what they think might have caused these defects. So let's see if we can. We'll just give accounting a second here to finish this off, and we'll see if there's any truth to what QA believes happened. So QA, what do you think happened that caused the defects?
Well, towards the end, we noticed that there was incomplete work, so we marked them as defects.
Yes.
So we're just thinking, we heard that there's a rumor within the development team that they had ran out of pieces. So what we're thinking is that if there's some sort of backlog between maybe coming around to us and maybe being like having a bit of a funnel in accounting where they're not recycling the components back to the development team.
Yep.
So piece comes to them, they just don't have the ability to work.
They've run out of code.
They've run out of code, so they have to move it on to the next team.
Yeah, so that's a problem. Does that ring true to any of the developers? Does that sound like that could be plausible? Yep.
Yeah, the part is
It just
it breaks through the head. Ah, wow. I feel just like that Sudoku on the card.
so one of the Sudokus you weren't able to solve. So 2 of them, and so you just pushed them through anyway.
No, because they would not be.
They wouldn't be fixed. Sounds disappointing, really. Developers, I expect better from you. I expect you to fix them and collaborate with you. I will be speaking with the manager who will of your department, and I expect to see some improvement in the next round. But thank goodness, QA, you were there to catch those and not let them go out to our customers. Except it looks like 2 of them did. There's 1 circle and 1 triangle defect. Glenn?
I was wondering if there's that kind of a technical problem, perhaps the building team could actually put that work aside. They know it's bad. Why waste our time checking?
Oh, geez, that would be such a good idea, Glenn. Why are we making somebody else do work that we know is wrong?
Correction, I did tell them the work was broken before they realized it was, so it was part of the solution.
Huh, so communication between departments and people is a challenge. Yes, Nico.
But we also hear from the development team that parts of the code just didn't fit in place.
Yeah, that's what I think that's what Fad said.
Right, yeah.
But they still pushed it through the process anyway. I guess they had to clear out the JIRA ticket so that it made their metrics look good, I guess.
Well, we didn't know where to take it.
Okay.
That's the case.
So we just pushed it through. All right.
Give it to the one place we're supposed to submit.
All right. So you still promoted your plate to a department that you knew couldn't do anything with it. Interesting. I wonder if there's a better way or a different way to handle that. Let me move on. Yeah, just follow the process. Right. All right. Let me just check in with our developers. Anything feel? Let's try and move on. We've obviously got one thing. Anything feel different or easier or better now that we limited the work in progress coming from our product development team? You're not on a development team. Oh, okay. No, I feel like we're done with that. But if there's more, go for it.
Well, we're talking about where we have sent it, and my thinking was to send it back to the product managers or team so that they can get a new plate.
That would have been an interesting approach. Or I think Glenn's was just stop working on it and go on to something that is going to deliver value. I think either of those, and there's probably others. Yeah, like it's just how are we going to handle those? Interesting policy that we could put in place. And there's probably other suggestions as well.
Just kidding.
Dries, Tom. What about developers? The limiting work in progress. How did that help? Did it help?
A bit, but we still had the entry of the other teams just coming in.
Yeah.
And overloading.
So I've seen this. I don't know. Anybody else ever seen this in an organization? And think about this for a second here. Think about pull requests as a perfect example. You're working on a ticket. You're focused on the thing you're doing. And all of a sudden you get ping. Can you review my code? Ping. Can you review my code? Hey, ping. Don't forget there's this meeting over here. We get interruptions coming in from all of the sides with us, which is exactly what you've talked about here, which is the fact that we limited work in progress. But did we really? Not really.
Made our lives easier.
Made your lives easier, sure. But we didn't really limit what was coming in, and we didn't limit the distractions. Now, Sudoku, by the way, and one of the reasons that I really like this activity, there's a bunch of others that you may have encountered, things like FeatureBon or Get Kanban. I like those games and I like those activities, but they're stupid in terms of you roll a die and you mark numbers off. There's no thinking involved in them. With Sudokus, they're not that hard, but there is a little bit of thinking. It's a little bit more of a cognitive load. And even the simple solving of Sudokus gets interrupted and it makes our lives harder. And I love this activity because we do have to actually think. We just don't roll a die and cross numbers off, which is what we do in some of those other activities. So yeah, we didn't really limit work in progress for what was going on here because we had work coming in from all over the place. Anything else anyone observed as that was happening?
It did slow things down though, because at least the product people weren't adding to the mix.
Right. So it did help a little bit. It did help a little bit. Product, you said it made your lives a little bit easier. Tell me more. You have to find the open spot. Yeah. So how did you figure out which one was going to go to the sales team or to the development team?
We didn't talk amongst ourselves.
No. Why would we? Why would we?
Like, first of all, if the thing was open, but then if I just checked if whoever was working on something and how many they had.
Okay, here's my challenge for you, sales, for the next round. I want you to figure out how we best use the development resources that we have. Let's see how we can better be effective with these teams, because obviously there's a limit to what they can do. See if you can figure out how you can best get that work going into them.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
One thing that I noticed, at least in the QM team, I felt that we were getting stuff way faster compared to the first round. Things were coming to us way fast.
Well, let's see if that's true. Let's see if we delivered more and if we delivered more quantity and delivered more value. Let's start with quantity. Who sees if we delivered more cards in the first round versus the second round? Did we deliver more or less? More, okay. How about value? Did we deliver more value in the second round over the first? Overall, yeah, looks like it. What do we do? 130, 150 versus about 120. So we did. We improved a little bit as a company. Tom, I think the fact that I had a conversation with Tom last round really helped because he really upped his game this round. It just goes to show that's an effective form of management. Obviously, what else could it be? It must just be. And Tom didn't have any. Tom, you didn't have any defects. Tom, I'm really proud of you for ensuring that you not only delivered the highest volume of tickets, but you also delivered the highest value, and you didn't have any defects. Tom, you are really a superstar after that first round. Boy, oh boy. Hey, by the way, how does everyone feel when Tom gets all of the credit for that?
You got the votes.
I am going to be using this to drive the team that delivers the
Right? So, I've heard something else about working in an agile way, and I'd like to do this. I think we can do this. There are 3 developers on each team. I'd like to take our 4 teams and merge them down to 3. And here's what I'd like to do. I'd like to have one team, and one team. We're going to move you guys. But here's what I'd like you to do. I'd like 1 blue, 1 yellow, 1 green, and 1 red. one blue, one yellow, one green, and one red, one blue, one yellow, one green, and one red. We are going to have cross-functional teams. I've heard that cross-functional teams can improve things. Now wait, before you move, take a few bricks with you so that each table should have, but don't go quite yet. You are still the expert in your domain. If you are a blue developer, you can only touch blue bricks. You still can't touch other people's bricks, but you're gonna go sit with other developers. Green, same thing. You can only touch green bricks. Yellow, you can only touch yellow. But let's make 3 teams here. All right? Go ahead and let's have 3 teams. So we've heard that cross-functional teams are a good thing. So this is going to be our test to find out, are they really a good thing? So again, I built this animation. I got to show you the animation. Oh, hold on. What's going on? Accounting. Accounting. Hold on. Accounting, folks. Guys. What's up? What's wrong?
Everything's great.
Oh, okay.
We're trying to improve.
Okay. Stick with me. All right. So hold on. What are you guys doing? Stop it. No. Give me everything that you've done. No.
Figure out how to make their training more effective.
Yeah, during the round. This is not during the round.
But we're being fair to each other.
Nope. I'm a jackass.
You are a jackass.
I really am. Oh, I know it. Okay. So here we go. We've got our sales team already cheating, as sales teams tend to do. We all know that. So we've heard that cross-functional teams are a good thing. We've now created some cross-functional teams. We have 4 teams. You are still the expert in yours, so we're going to create 4 cross-functional teams. 1 developer from each has gone. You can still only touch your bricks. Now, if you see something wrong, you can tell another developer, hey, I notice your green brick is in the wrong spot. Can you move it over here? But you cannot touch another person's brick. You don't know how to do their code. All right? You're still the expert of your color, and you can only touch, nothing else changes. Everything else is good. We've got our QA ready to go. QA? Accounting. Yes, Glenn? Yes, sir.
Why isn't QA on those teams?
QA reports to a different manager, Glenn, and it comes out of a different budget. Doesn't.
I'm assuming that's round 4.
All right. So, sales, are you ready? Product management, on your marks, get set, go. And stop. Anything that's past QA is passed. Glenn said it's passed. Okay, it's good. Excellent. We'll let accounting add those up. We'll get the bricks back. Oh, so let me start with the sales team this time. Sales team, how was that this round compared to previous rounds?
I found myself twiddling my thumbs occasionally because my team were not keeping up.
Your team wasn't keeping up. So did you actually have a team dedicated to you? Oh, very interesting. Did you discuss that ahead of time? Development teams, were you part of that conversation? Oh, interesting.
But I did tell them.
You did tell them. Interesting. Okay. They gave you pizza. Okay. Okay. So cool. You actually had developers dedicated to your product line, and that was helpful. Interesting. Okay, good. But you found that it slowed down a little bit.
Didn't work out so well.
We'll come to that in a second. Let me check in with the developers for a moment here and see developers. How did that feel this time? Was it different? Was it better? Was it worse? You needed a QA. Okay, you needed QA. Any other teams feel you needed QA? Yeah, a few nods going around. Okay, so QA on the team. Going back to Glenn's question earlier, why isn't QA on each team? Why don't we do that for the next round? Why don't we've got 3 QA and 3 teams. Why don't we put the QA people on a team? Roman, can you just stick with me for a second? I'm going to do something else for you.
You go for it. You're faster than me.
Okay, in that case, Glenn, I've got a separate job for you. I've got another job for you, but just stick with me for a second here. We'll give you a QA person. What was the comment about? Someone said something a second ago. Yes.
Interesting. As we were talking about this, as we were just checking in quality, we found some of the pieces were a little bit loose, but we were able to
stepping in and fixing. So, which is bringing back to the reality is allowing QM team to really do some type of low-level development.
Yeah.
And get it, fix it right.
Do you know, I wish you hadn't done that, because that introduces a huge risk in going to production. It should have gone back to the development team, because you don't have the technical skills really to dig into that code. Again, here's one of those things, right? Like the game is meant to highlight these, and there's definitely some questions about QA, and depending on who you have, who has the job title QA, they may take it on themselves to fix a low level. Oh, yeah, I know, I just forgot a curly bracket, or whatever it happens to be, right? Like that's an easy fix, or I've got some sort of loop or something like it. Could be an easy fix. A lot of QA teams don't do that. A lot of QA teams will send it back and they'll be like, woohoo, I logged another defect, because that's how they're bonused. That's how they're paid. Your job is to find defects, not fix them. Your job is to find the defects. So is that the right way, or is fixing it the right way to do it? How do we prevent them from getting in the first place? And I think Glenn's suggestion of putting a QA person on each team might help us do that. Now, there is a rule, QA. You cannot touch any bricks. All you can do is help them see things. You check off when it's completed and get it over to accounting. You can decide how you want to get it over to accounting. You can decide how to do that, but you cannot touch a brick. If you see a mistake, you cannot fix it. You cannot touch the code for this round. Okay? All right, developers, does that sound like a good rule? I don't want them messing with your code. It's your code, right? Take pride in your code. Have pride of ownership. Yes, sir.
So question, from an accounting perspective,
Yes.
if the codes are not fixed, what are we accountable for?
If QA doesn't pass it, if you get a box with an X on it or something that hasn't passed QA, your job is to mark it down as a defect, as something that we sent to our customer that didn't work. Your job is to not record it as value delivered, because the value hasn't been delivered yet. And I love thinking about defects that way. Defects are stuff that we said was done, we've delivered it, but we didn't really finish it. And so it doesn't do what we said it was supposed to do. We haven't been so far. We haven't been subtracting. Oh, have you? Oh, in that case, yes. Keep doing whatever you've been doing. Keep doing it.
They mark it as a D-.
A D minus, yeah, but they didn't subtract it off. Not in the first round.
Yeah, they did.
Oh, you did it. You did after that. All right. They changed it. All right.
That's what
Perfect.
accounting does, right? They get to go and react to.
Yeah, we do want to look at the scores. Absolutely. So did we improve this round is the ultimate question that we did. And it looks like when we look at each team, Tom dropped a little bit. He went from 89 down to 78. The other teams, we've got Circle up at 97, and we've got Triangle up at 110. Holy cow. From a total perspective, we are at almost 280. 285. Not bad for estimating in my head. 285. Look at the improvement that we've made. Now, I want you to think about this in a moment. We're going to get close. We're going to do one more round. We're going to do one more round, but I want you to just think about what we've talked and what we've done so far. We have not added more people to our team. We have not changed the amount of Lego that's available to us. We haven't changed anything except the way we're structuring the work. We've limited our work in progress so that there's a limit as to what's coming in, and we've created cross-functional teams of experts. We haven't created cross-functional people. We haven't given Blue the ability to touch Yellow's code. But by bringing people together, by limiting our work in progress, we've gone from a total of 143 to 285 just by changing the way we structure the people in our organization, just structuring the way that work flows through. Now, our sales team did something interesting as well by having one person per team. And so, Glenn, what I'm going to do is I'm going to screw up the sales team just a little bit, because I'm going to introduce a fourth product line. The fourth product line, Glenn, that's going to be you. You're going to become a product manager. Congratulations on being promoted.
Oh my God, it is an X too.
You are getting an X or a plus, depending on which way you put it. It can either be an X or a plus. But we're going to have 4 product managers right now. Now, the reason we're having 4 product managers is to prevent them from having a dedicated team. We'll see what this does to the overall flow of things. Now, I need to talk to the sales folks a minute. We're just going to step outside for a moment. Just sit tight, okay? My CIO, Chris Chapman, by the way, is my CIO. He's just going to talk to a bit of a technical perspective with you, but like it's nothing important, guys. We're going to do the important stuff outside, okay? Come on outside. I'm going to talk to the sales team about something really important for this round without the microphone on.
All right, so I have been asked to come here on behalf of the enterprise architecture team. And what they wanted me to do was introduce a new concept for you about how you're going to interact with QA or when you are getting your plates, your security plates. If you look on the reverse side of a plate, you've got a plate, I can show one here. You'll see that there is a very faint number. Now, your plates can only pass to QA if they've got 15 or greater. This one says 60. So this one could be passed to QA. Now, say, for example, you had one that said 3. Well, that can't be passed. So if you had one that said 12 and you had the 3, then it could be passed. So we want to see how this will affect your performance. We think it's going to really improve things. Automation, having readily identifiable tagging, this should really improve how you work and deliver better value to your customers. You can stack them. So if you had one that's 3, like one of these I think says 3 on the back. If I look at it, no, it's a 19. Let's say it's a 3. And let's say you had a 12. Boom, 15 can be shipped, right? But if it was 10 and 3, can't be shipped, you got to get another one. So you can go 15 or higher. Doesn't matter. Any two. As they come in. So you cannot pass them to QA unless the single plate is 15 or more, or if you've got 2 plates that in combination can be 15 or more. 2 plates, or sometimes you may need 3, I don't know. But that's what they tell me. I come down here and I'm just here to rah-rah you guys and give you the big ideas.
I have 60 and 3. Can I text 3 with 60 and pass it on?
Why not? That's more than 15, right?
Yeah, 60 and 3. So whenever the smaller one is there, the bigger one text on.
That's a strategy. It's your choice, yeah. Or you might want to hold one back in reserve. I don't know. Clear? Clear as mud? Okay. Okay, our sales team is coming back. Hopefully they've come up with a plan and an approach that they're going to work. Let me just do a quick thumbs up here.
What is the law of the jungle?
All right.
Can we ask for a request?
You can ask.
Is it okay? So once accounting has completed their cards, can they just move it to this empty table so that we can pick the product owners can pick them up there because we know that they've been validated?
You can try, but I know the accounting team is really busy. I'm not sure that they're going to have time to do your work for you. But it's up to the accounting. If accounting, the request has been made.
Yeah, until that table, right?
Well, we did say halfway. Yeah. They just need to throw it on that table.
Yep. Okay, everybody ready? Let's do a quick thumbs up. Development team, are you ready? Quick thumbs up from development team. QA, where's my QA folks? QA, why aren't you at your teams? Go with your teams. Product developers, go. All right, here we go. Hey, sales, let's go. Come on. What's taking you so long? Holy cow. Time's up. Stop. If it's past QA, it counts. If it has not passed QA, it does not count. All right. All right. All sorts of things happen that round, so let's get things back. And product managers, if you want to grab a seat, you're welcome to do so. Because I don't think, I've got like 8 more rounds that we could do, but I think we'll probably call it here. I'll tell you 2 of my favorite rounds that we're not going to do. One is I introduce change management into the mix, and change management has to validate anything after QA has validated it. They actually have to go around to every team and get every team to sign off that the change is safe to make. And it's so much fun. Yeah. One of the other ones that I do is I have orange bricks as well. And any plates where there is an entire color missing, the orange team is a specialized subsystem team. They are the experts and they need to do their work before it goes to all of the other teams, and then one team obviously doesn't have to do any work on it. Yeah, there's a million variations on this, as you can possibly imagine, and I'll talk more about that in a little bit as well. But let me talk about this last round here. While accounting, I'm going to try and vamp for a little bit here while accounting does some high-level math. A couple of challenges happened on our development teams this round. What was happening on our development teams that was causing challenges? We ran out of blocks. Yeah, and so a couple of you said, I'm out of blocks. And then what did you do? Some of you went and got them from accounting. And some of you threw up your hands and go, oh, well, there's nothing I can do. Both are valid approaches. And both of these we see happen with development teams. And I can't tell you the number of times I've been working with a development team and they say something like, he's not responding to me. I'm waiting for an answer from change management. I'm waiting for an answer from enterprise architecture. And my question to them is, so what are you doing about it? Well, I sent him an email. Okay, but he works the next row of cubicles over. What if we just went and talked to him? Well, he's on Teams, isn't he? Could we ping him on Teams and see if we could just try and get an answer? Like, we sometimes have this, and I'm sorry to pick on you. You weren't the only one, by the way. Other people did it too. You weren't the only one. But we have this learned helplessness. And we sometimes associate that with our role or our job title. My job is a developer. I am here to put bricks on a Sudoku puzzle. That's my job. It's accounting's job to bring me more bricks. As opposed to, I need more bricks. What can I do about it? And so, Fad, you made a good point, right? I just went and got more bricks. Not everybody thinks that way, and sometimes that's an opportunity for us if we're leading, if we're managing, if we're part of a team, to help other people see the opportunity, because that's exactly what I said to you. You said, I'm out of bricks, and I said, what are you going to do about it? And your first answer was, well, I guess I have to wait for them to come. I said, what else could you do? Well, I guess I could go get them. Okay. So we have an opportunity to do that. Did we have other problems going on with our technical teams or other challenges, Fad?
We had a lot of slack time. So
you had a lot of slack time.
Yeah, like we were waiting for work to come.
What? Okay, so let me go to my sales team for a moment. Sales team, why was there so much slack time for our teams where they were just sitting there twiddling their thumbs? I don't like having salespeople all over the place. I can't find you all. Anyone have any ideas why that might have been or what was going on?
We didn't have enough Sudoku cards.
You didn't have enough Sudoku cards. There were 20 of them. There's 3 development teams. Really?
And they were all in use. We were going over to counting pretty quickly.
Okay.
So I think we were at the limit of what we could have.
So what was it at the start, Fad, or was it in the middle? Was it at the end? When were you?
First at the start and then near the middle.
And was okay. So it got better as things went on.
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay, but it was a really slow start. It was a really slow start. I think it was about 30 seconds before the first development team got their first plate to work on. There was 30 seconds of nothing coming out of our sales team.
Because you wouldn't let us prep our cards in advance.
I never let you prep your cards in advance. I never let you do that, and yet it wasn't generally 30 seconds that were taking so long. What else was going on?
We were scheming against each other.
We were scheming against each other. Tell me more, Tom.
You told us before the round that it was going to be a competition.
And it was a competition, yes.
And even though we had no control, we tried to take what we could at the beginning. And so we were slow at the start because we were looking for the highest value items and only distributed them.
So let me tell you a little story, because you may have guessed that I've played this game once or twice before. And in one of the rounds, and I won't go into details about where it was, my sales team did something very interesting. They stamped their first card, they wrote the value, and they got it out. And then they came back and they rolled about 5, 6, 7 plates. And then they looked at which one had the highest value. And that was the one they brought to the sales team, or to the development team. But they'd already got the development team working on something, because something is better than nothing, even if it wasn't the highest value. And then they started focusing on value. So they first got somebody working on something, and then they focused on delivering the value. Now, I'm curious, sales, when you were stamping them, did you prioritize or sequence those plates in any order?
I did not.
You did not. Okay.
That was an idea that was given, but I quickly said, if you don't discuss that, that's just.
Yes.
I disagree and then send out the highest value.
Okay. So there were different approaches being taken by our sales teams to focus in on that. And it's interesting how infrequently we focus on value. For those of us that work on Agile teams, we often talk about deliver the value, find the most important thing. And yet in a very simple simulation game, we're like, let's not bother. Okay, hold on, one here and then I'm coming there. Yep.
Talking about value.
Yes, Martin.
I mean, we were given now the instruction that we have to look at the back of the.
Okay, hold on. They don't know this yet. So no. Let me come back to that one in a second. Let me go over here first because our sales team don't know about that at the moment. Hold on one second. Yes.
Why would we take the highest of the collective value?
So here's the thing, right? I put a structure in place that required you to compete against each other. Is that really what's best for the company? So at what point did you say, Jeff, that's stupid. We're not going to do it. You can't, right? Because I'm in charge.
Right.
Well, that's true in our organizations too, right? We have people in charge. I think we have an opportunity to say, maybe we should focus on the value that we're delivering for an organization and stop focusing on local optimization, which is what we're doing when we focus on our individual product goals. Okay, there was another, but that's hard to do. There was a comment, hold on, there was one here. Was it about that before I go on to the technical issues? Something else? Okay, can I go to the, was it about this?
So I just wanted to find out then, at that point, how then do we get management to change their mindset around what value is, how we always have to consider value instead of.
You know, it's really hard, and it goes against what we have taught in the traditional way of MBAs, in MBA school. It goes against how we've structured our organizations, that if we pay people better, or if we pay people and bonus them and incentivize them, they will perform better. And I'd like to refer you to the work of Daniel Pink. Watch his RSA anime video on autonomy, mastery, and purpose. Because what he's actually found, or not him, but what the research has found is that when you are doing, and I don't want to say, but physical tasks, things that are just purely based on physical tasks without cognitive load, bonuses work as expected. If you pay people a bonus for their performance, you get the results. And that's where our management structures are based in. The problem is that we work in a knowledge work environment these days. And it's actually proven that when you incentivize people through money or through some other bonus or incentive program, that performance decreases the moment even rudimentary cognitive effort is required. Paying doesn't produce better thinking. It doesn't work. And yet that's how our management systems are. And so your question was, how do we introduce this? And I'll tell you how one way, and I wish I could tell you I've been successful at this. I've been successful about this like once out of 10 times. But my comment is?
What about bonus about the organization's performance, not individual?
Profit sharing is a great way of doing it. Bonuses on the organization's performance, you'll get people pushing back because they'll say, what if he does something how that affects me? Is that fair to me? And there's a separate conversation around that. But the focus or the conversation that I've had, and I'm not kidding, I've been successful in my career once with this statement, so maybe don't try it, find something else that works for you, is to say, would you like me to be successful or would you like our organization to be successful in the marketplace? Which is more important to you? And I had one organization say, oh, yeah, that's a good point. All right, you know what? Let's try it. And the organization I worked for got rid of individual performance bonuses entirely. In fact, they took everybody's performance bonus from last year and added it to their base salary, and that was your new base salary next year. End of story. Once.
On top of that is public service. What then happens if this is public service?
Yeah, oh my goodness. Public service is a whole other can of worms to get into. Let me tell you, I've been working in the public service for the last 4 years or so, and I'm very excited. I just signed a contract yesterday for another stint with the public service, which makes me very happy. And I am not going to, I will not kid you. Looking from the outside at the public service, what a bunch of lazy bureaucrats who just are there to collect pensions. I'm going to tell you, having worked in it for the last 4 years, holy shit, that's wrong. These are the most passionate, the most caring, the most dedicated people who are desperate to do a good job. In fact, most of them, a lot of the good ones, have had jobs offered to them at double their salary in the public service, and they don't take it because they care about the purpose of the organization and the social good that they are doing. They are amazing at what they do. But we have a huge opportunity within the public service to change the way we think about delivering value. And I could go on a whole rant about it, and I just did, but I'm going to try and stop myself from going anymore because, oh my goodness, these people care desperately.
Which branch of the public service?
Federal government. I'm working for the federal government.
Which branch?
I'm working for two right now. I'm working for Transport Canada and the Canadian Grains Commission. And if anybody wants to talk to me about the Canada Grains Commission, It's a barn burner. Let me tell you how exciting it is. All right.
I'm just thinking out loud. So if you did that and you ended up creating value, you know, collectively focusing on the one that's most value, then could that affect your relationship with the client though?
Yes, it could.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And the nice thing about this game is there's no real client. There's no real client. Let me go back to the question here, because absolutely. And you know, man, so much for ending early. The talk of promise debt is huge. And I work for one organization that is a large insurance company that many of you probably deal with on a regular basis. And they have what I would like to call promise debt. They have made so many promises to clients, to potential clients, that they are about 6-8 years behind being able to deliver on half of them, because they keep making these promises. And you know, this is changing the sales and that relationship conversation. You are making promises often as a salesperson or as a relationship that you can't deliver on. And that's more dangerous than, and I think that's worth the conversation there, because I've worked with organizations that say, listen, you're a good customer, but they're doing more. I got to deliver theirs first. It got to the point, I worked for a large US bank. The large US bank had all their development capabilities in the US. They actually had it offshore. They brought it into the US. Canada had exactly that situation. Canada was getting one thing a year. And so the Canadian arm of this organization said, well, the heck with this. If we're not going to get attention from that, we're going to stand up our own development team. And I was one of the first people hired to stand up a new development organization in Canada specifically to support the Canadian consumers for exactly that reason. So organizations will do it if there's a business case to do it. You tell me that it's going to jeopardize the relationship between the Triangle customers? What's preventing us from hiring a fourth team? The only thing is that we have to make a business case for it. We have to say, here's the potential return on investment, and here's why we should do it. So make the case. And then you can meet your commitments that you probably shouldn't have made in the first place, because you've now got the capacity to do it. Anyway, let me go over to, because our sales team doesn't know about this yet. Maureen, what was it that happened?
We realized that for me to pass that to accounting, the criteria has to be on the value.
Yeah, so there was a technical, let me just bring them up to speed. There's on the back of the plate sales teams, each plate has a number engraved on the back. They're numbered 1 to 20. And so there was a technical dependency that our CIO let the development team know, well, we were out doing some nonsense about bonuses and some shit like that. Basically, I had to get you out of the room for a minute so that Chris could do this. But these numbers needed to add up to 15 or more before they could be delivered to accounting. So it created a bottleneck, and at some points, there were plates sitting on tables that couldn't be delivered.
Which is interesting, bring it to the next point, which I found that at the development team, we checked the number even before starting working. So they pass it on to me as a QM, so I go, well, I cannot pass that to accounting because it doesn't have the criteria. You shouldn't be working on it.
Yes. Yes. So that's an awesome thing, right? QA was checking it. Thank you for QA for doing such an awesome job. But this creates a bottleneck sometimes on our teams where we have plates. And it's one of the reasons that in this round, almost always, we run out of bricks. Because we have plates that are sitting here that can't be delivered because we don't add up to 15 yet on the back. And so as a result, we run out of bricks. And so you talked earlier about I'm going to be involved with the development teams. This is one of the things that sometimes product managers pick up on. And the developers, by the way, are told, don't tell you what the technical, but just say, oh yeah, we can't deliver that yet because of a technical dependency. They're told that it's too technical for you to understand, which is why they won't tell you that it has to add up to 15. Also, you game the system, but it has all sorts of other impacts, and it just highlights the challenges when we're not communicating back and forth that I love bringing up. I'm glad you caught them though in QA. Holy cow, we covered a lot of stuff. Let's check our results for the final round here. For the final round, we have a total, thank you accounting for totaling them up, 87, 88, 97, and 55. You know what, in fairness, Glenn was new to product management, so it's not surprising that his results are a little bit lower than the others. But a total of 327. So we have continued to just look at where we've gone over the rounds, and think about the things that we did. Think about the things that we changed. We limited work in progress. We focused on getting things done. We focused on delivering value. We then focused on cross-functional teams. And again, we had experts on each team. So, you know, we run into this all the time in organizations that I talk to all the time. Oh, you expect me to do everything? I can't do everything. I'm an expert in databases. Okay, be an expert in databases, but work with the guy who's doing the front end, because you collaborate in a different way, just like you did here. It's incredible the impact that cross-functional teams have. And then in our last round there, we embedded QA right on the team, which gave you the opportunity of not having a bottleneck in QA, of being able to have an extra set of eyes. Can you imagine pair programming on stuff, an extra set of eyes? Again, it goes back to this cognitive effort that we do in software development, or in anything that is creative or uses our noggins. It requires thinking and an extra set of eyes. You know, if typing was the thing that slowed us down, I would send every developer to a typing class. Typing isn't what slows us down. It's the thinking, it's the logic, it's the second set of eyes, making sure I'm not putting a red one here. It's a huge difference. By the way, did anybody, you noticed in the first round that one plate couldn't be, or 2 plates couldn't be solved? There is, yeah? You have that one?
Yeah, this one actually can't be solved.
And we spend so much time on that.
You are correct. Plate number 20 has a red brick down here in the bottom corner, and this red brick makes it impossible to solve this one. And it's interesting how often people spend huge amounts of time on this as opposed to moving on to something else. Oh, I can't solve this one. I can't solve it. No, you can't solve this one. This one is a built-in defect. It purposely is done because I'm a jackass. But it's amazing how much that time we spend on that. And there's an interesting conversation to be had. What's the return on investment? Should we continue to spend the time on this, or should we move on to something else? And that's a tough conversation to have, that there's going to be some sort of working agreement that you, your team, your organization come up with, whether it goes back to your product, whether you just push it off to the side. Huge opportunity with that. But yeah, number 20 is a fun one. Yes, sir.
I can build on your earlier point about Dan Pink. One of the things he covers in that TED Talk, when you incentivize people on cognitive tasks, it causes something called functional fixedness, which is like tunnel vision. You begin to lose the perspective that you otherwise have. So in the example he shows, there is a simple experiment where you have on the table in front of you a candle, a box, and a tax. And the idea is to put the candle in the box and get it to stick to the wall. And the solution for that is wholly lost on people when they start to add the incentives.
Yep.
They no longer see what the potential is for how to assemble the tack with the box and get it to stick to the wall. You have to melt a little bit of the candle wax, I think, to get it to stick to the wall and thing underneath. But the teams that repeatedly were incentivized, they found they could not solve that problem. Suddenly they saw all of the parts and how they could fit together. And that's a simple cognitive task.
Funny enough that you mentioned that one. I took that, and the activity was, the experiment was created, I'm going to get it wrong, but it was sometime in the 50s or something that was created. And I spoke at a conference in Winnipeg and took that activity, and it was absolutely hilarious to see people struggle to come up with a solution for it. It was a Drucker. It's Drucker's candle problem. Yeah, thanks. Okay, I'm hoping this was fun. I'm hoping you took something that some learning from it, something that you can take back to your organization, and something you can say, hey, maybe we should look at this cross-functional team. Maybe we should look at embedding QA on our development team. Maybe this work in progress thing that we've heard about, that these Kanban people say, it actually makes a difference. We've seen it make a difference. Maybe we should try it and give it a genuine try in our work. I'm hoping that you can take some of those things. Last couple of things that I'm going to say about this, and then I'm going to go. And some people go for drinks after this. And if you want to go for a drink, you're welcome to. I am not going for a drink after this. I parked, unfortunately, right around the corner, so I'm just going to walk back to the car. But this game is called Xflow. It was developed by a guy in Germany. His name is Michael Kramer. Really, really good guy. If you're interested in facilitating it, he does ask you to attend his masterclass thing, which is fine. But if you go to xflow.info, I put this in just as a plug for Michael, because he's a great guy and has done a lot of work in developing it. He always takes feedback, and some of the activities, some of the rounds that are in here are ideas that have been suggested back to him by others. But here's my other offer for you, especially if it's on a Friday. If you would like me to come and do this in your organization, let's talk. Anybody who was here tonight not you, if you're watching it on a recording. No, that's Chris. You're okay. But if somebody there, or if you on there are just watching this on this doesn't apply to you. But if anybody else, I will do it at half the price that I would normally do it if you're interested in having me come out and do it with your organization. All I ask is you to get a room and get at least 13 people. I can do it with less, but it works better when you have 13 people or more, any number, and I'm happy to do that. But all the material is there, and I mean, you saw that what was done here. Like, there's no secret sauce to it at all. If you have any feedback from me, I love knowing what you liked about it, but I also love knowing what you didn't like, so that I can try and improve it, do something differently the next time I do this. So please let me know. Whether you want to send me an email or if you just want to talk to me, I always appreciate the feedback. That's something that I get. My name's Jeff. Hope you had fun tonight. Thanks for coming out to Agile TO. And if there are drinks, often, Tom, we end up at Wurst, which is at Union Station. Is that where we're going?
Sure, yeah.
Okay, so anybody who wants to, Wurst is at Union Station for drinks. That is not included with your admission price. You are on your own for that. But I'm going to stick around until 8 o'clock when I get kicked out. Glenn?
It seemed like the change in implement didn't have quite the effect I would have hoped.
It improved the system, and I think that's the ultimate thing. Did it improve it as much as maybe you would have liked? Maybe not. But also keep in mind that it was only a partial WIP improvement limit, because you were still passing things between teams, right? We also, like, there's other ways that you can do it. And again, I've got 10 versions of this, but I've got another version of it where you limit the WIP limit to one in progress, and one at QA. And that creates all sorts of challenges with handoffs.
What I was getting at was, is there another variant
Yes.
that makes the implement more impactful?
Yes. And that makes it more impactful as to actually in a negative way, because now we lose that cross-team collaboration.
And what I was trying to say is, this one didn't seem that, like, if it was truly representative of reality, it would have had more of it.
I think we doubled it, didn't we?
But it's still a fabulous simulation. I got to talk to this guy.
Yeah, I think it's just because, I mean, you want like a reported impact, right, for risk if you're going to. You really want to, like, if you're going to change, you kind of want to make sure.
Yep.
A lot.
Well, I think we doubled our productivity. I think we doubled from round 1 to round 2. We almost doubled our throughput. So I mean, I'll take a double for limiting the work in progress and getting double the value. That's pretty good.
Interesting enough, but I think we not diminishing the actual increase of value, but also we have to keep in mind the fact that we are now getting a 20 to work together, which makes a big difference.
Oh, it does.
Then getting that connection.
So interestingly, yes, there is absolutely truth to getting familiar with each other. What I'll take exception with is that it's only by doing that. And the reason that I say that is I've done this a few times, and I almost always change up the order that I do things. And it doesn't matter what order I introduce the improvements, right? Sometimes I've gone straight to cross-functional teams, and then I've improved WIP limits. Every single time I've done this, we've had improvement every single round after round after round, regardless of the improvement. And so there absolutely is something to relationships. I've also done it once, and I did this once with the Transport Canada federal government, where I made people switch teams. So I took the red people and they all went one table this way. I took the yellow people, they went one table this way. Green and blue stayed the same. So like there's a million variations for this, but you're absolutely right. Learning how to work with each other is huge. Is a big part of this, absolutely.
I think this is actually very useful. Organizations struggle with cross-functional teams.
Yes, they do.
This powerfully showed it in a simple way.
Yep.
And it had dramatic results. You can't argue with it.
No, well, you can, but you can argue with anything.
And maybe this is just my perception, but I'm curious. To me, it felt like we actually delivered less, like just within our table, it felt like that. But the overall total was much higher. So I don't know, did the other tables feel the same? Like it felt lighter?
Yeah, it was really important to get the metrics at the end because it didn't actually feel so frenetic. Yeah. And so actually it felt less productive when it was more productive. And so the metric was really, really important.
Yeah.
It's gnawing at me as I just had to ask.
No, it's a great point, and it's one I should have brought up, is that there is sheer chaos the first round, especially because you're crossing over every table. Like it's purposely designed to be chaos with all of that going on. And you're right, every round becomes a little bit easier. Part of it is familiarity with it, but trust me, there's 20 different plates. You don't know which plate you're getting. It's solving a puzzle. I'm going to go over there, but you're working with others, going back to Maureen's point, is that you're working with others, you're figuring it out, you're starting to get more comfortable with it. We've introduced some improvements along the way. And so it feels more comfortable, yet you're producing more. And it's this whole idea of stop working faster and find ways to work more effectively. I think there was a comment over here. Nico, did you have something? No? Okay, sorry.
Just one last comment to that one. I think, yes, it felt more normalized.
Yeah.
It felt more relaxed. But at the end of the day, they were all picture telling you very much. It's almost the same number of plays, but it's so that's what I felt like. There was no, you guys were not really.
By the way, one big change in that last round, it's worth calling out, is that by bringing QA in, you're no longer having that distance to travel, right? So for those of you that are my lean friends in here, we've eliminated transportation, right? What a huge waste. And I think that alone makes a big difference because we don't have to interrupt our work to get where we're going. Yep.
What about the idling? Idling was actually good for us.
Yeah.
Idling was
Yes.
amazing. Because
Yes.
every time I put something like, oh wait, I can put something. It cannot be always vision, cannot be.
Oh.
We can reach it because we're idling.
100%. It's cognitive. It's not purely physical and mechanical doing something. And our brains need that space to be able to think and observe what's going on.
This is a message really for management that don't look at your team to be constantly.
No.
No, you need to let them give some space.
Do you know, it's so frustrating because many of us work in the IT space, and what would we do if our CPUs on our servers were running at 100%? And yet we expect people to do it all the time. I'm coming there next. Nico?
Actually, it wouldn't be such a bad thing, Jeff, because that would actually.
That's true. It's true.
Being this round, like the QA person involved on the team, I almost had a higher observation of how the team was operating, and now we're seeing things that areas of improvement that potentially if there was another round that I could try to implement to kind of speed things up for our team.
Oh, that's beautiful. I've heard that argument for Scrum Masters, right? They're not involved in the work, so they can observe what's going on and look for improvements that the people in the weeds can't see. Love the comment, Nico. Thank you.
Sorry, just to quickly recap the jumps between figures. So 154, what was the difference between the 154 and TF5 and TF5 and 3?
Was that behind that?
Second to third and third to.
143.
Oh, sorry, it was round.
Can I just understand, like what? So the last one we had cross functionality. Did we have it in round 3?
Yes. Yeah, so round one we had sheer chaos. Round 2 we had WIP limits. Round 3 we had cross-functional teams. Round 4 we had sales incentives, technical dependencies, and QA embedded on the team.
Okay, so the biggest jump is probably the cross functionality.
Yep. Absolutely. And by the way, that's not uncommon. That's a big one. All of them have improvements, but cross-functionality, when you can see what others are doing, especially in something where what you do depends on what others have done, it's huge.
Are there any areas where this game puts you in the wrong direction, or that's what the feedback is?
Puts you in the wrong direction, like introduces.
It doesn't, the lessons aren't, well, kind of building on what I said about WIP. I was surprised it didn't have more of an impact. I would argue it's somewhat not representative because WIP is very significant.
Can be, yeah.
Any other areas where this bit off?
I haven't seen, in the times that I've facilitated or participated in it, I haven't seen it teach the wrong lesson or teach the lesson that we don't to do something that we're not expecting it to do. I'm sure there are things. It's a game. It's an activity. So I'm sure there are, but I've yet to find one.
Yeah, I'm pretty impressed.
The other thing about the last round is that, two things. One, the idling allowed us to all triple check before it even went away, so your chances of errors are reduced significantly. But the second point, the technical dependency with the must total above 15.
Yep.
It kind of, I don't know, this was just me. It invigorated me that there were words sitting on the table that could not move from the table. So that's another one.
Interesting.
That it can, to me, felt like a frustration. So like what you were saying was taken the wrong way would only be or whole architecture of them holding X, Y, Z for could be taken as negative, but we still produce more, so then my anxiety went down.
Do you know that has come up, Glenn? That comment has come up is that I didn't feel as busy. I didn't feel like I was working as hard. And when I tie it back to, yeah, but look at your outcome. It's not about the output, it's about the outcome. And this happened at Transport Canada. Everybody in the room, and there were about 30 of them, it was a packed room because I didn't get the right size room, but everybody went, oh. And it was exactly that aha moment that it's not about how hard you're working and how much output you're producing. It's about, are you delivering the value?
Along the same line, I think there's something that is worth mentioning in the QA team. We were actually double, triple checking their work each other because we have the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I knew what needs to be done. I just checked the one that pass and go. So for us, when we're at that table, we felt like, hey, we're gonna double check it. Yeah, I have time. It was like no on the light of keeping ourselves busy, but we needed to feel like we have to be doing something.
You know, when I was in Germany and when I was first exposed to this game, there was a lady there who actually is a QA person from Germany, and she was on one of the teams, and I wasn't playing. I was just observing because I'm like, I know I'm going to want to do this. And so I was watching how she did it, and you know, she took an interesting role. Her role as a QA person on the team was to instill quality in everybody else. It wasn't about her, and she barely did any checking. She was asking people, hold on, have you checked all the reds? Make sure you got all the blues. Hey, have you got all the yellows there? Are there any greens missing? Can you just double check and make sure that, and she was making sure that the team was building quality in as opposed to checking it later. It was interesting. That wasn't her job title, but that was the way in her organization that they did QA. And it's a different approach from the way we do QA, which typically starts like we started with the separate QA department. And not only was she embedded with the team, she was teaching people how to embed quality as opposed to checking for it afterwards. Yeah, right on, Stacey.
Have you ever tried teaching this to management? Have the game represent the way management is currently done, and then try and get them to brainstorm and simulate how they could do different.
So this is the 4th time that I have done this. In the last 6 months, and all 4 times have been cross-functional groups up to directors. So they've had developers, QA, business analysts, scrum masters, team leads, managers, and directors. I have not done it with groups outside of that.
Would it be interesting to do this at the VP, AVP?
Yes, it would.
They organize the teams this way.
Do you know?
Or have this kind of filter.
I love doing activities with them, and for those of you that are familiar with the ballpoint game where you pass ping pong balls around, I had the opportunity to do it with the entire executive team at Manulife. And this was very interesting because I hadn't finished saying the instructions, and for those of you that don't know the game, don't worry about it, but I hadn't finished the instructions before the president of the company had figured out how to cheat. And it was an interesting thing because I stopped them before they'd even started the first round, and I said, hold on. You're going against the rules. You're actually overtly, like you're not even being subtle about it. You are overtly going against a rule. Well, yeah. Well, how would you do if your employees did that? Oh, well, they're not allowed to do it. Then why is it different for you? That was an interesting conversation at Manulife. But it's very interesting doing it with different groups because of the way they approach doing it. Yeah.
Sorry, I've got 2 questions.
Yes.
What's the idling?
The which?
What are you saying?
It felt like there was a break until we got new work, or there was a
idling.
Sorry, right, okay, I thought there was like a process you had to
Idling.
thank you, sorry. Just one more question. That was a really great game. Do you have any great games for Discovery virtual games?
For Discovery in virtual games? Sure. Yes. I'm purposely, given the fact that I said I would be done at 7:15, and I'm getting kicked out of here in 2 minutes, I'm purposely just going to stop with yes. Thank you all for coming tonight. I hope you had fun. Send me feedback. Have a great night. Thank you.